When Bitcoin came back down, alt started to move. We saw Ripple at $3.6, breaking an all-time high.
When it comes to what you should be looking at, so you should definitely be looking at newer coins.
When you start having a harsher correction in Bitcoin, like consistent 30% pullback, then followed by 40% pullback, that's when the market's close to being done.
The content presented in this podcast is intended for informational and educational purposes only. It should not be considered as financial advice, and listeners are encouraged to conduct their own research or consult with a qualified professional before making any investment decisions.
Crypto flip.
Converted my life savings 140,000 euros into USDC in November 2024 and bought ETH for $3,600. Because of crypto Twitter calling for Altseason, watched it later in disbelief going to $1,400. On top of that, USD lost a lot of value against the euro, so my break even is now ETH at $4,100. The little cycle top. Yeah. So you got screwed in a lot of different ways, man.
Hey, I'm just going to throw this out there. Well done for doing that conversion, because most man wouldn't have. And they'd have just thought that 3,600 ETH is back to your euro dollar amount. But my advice to you, bro, is just hold in there, because ETH will fly. Like, maybe look at it over 5 years, like a 5-year term. Stick it out, and eventually ETH will reach a new all-time high. Like, I can't imagine it not. So just stick it out, man.
Yo, ETH maxes are losing faith. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. Listen, this post here, I think we've had many posts like this year. And what I learned from this post is in every cycle, whether the beginning, middle, or end, you want to try and make sure you're Bitcoin heavy. Like, at the end of the day, Bitcoin is king, fam. And yes, there will be a time when like ETH will flip Bitcoin, but it will only be for a short period of time. Like, it will only be for probably a period of a month max. And then you know what that happens in that month? It's Altseason. When the moment when the ETH surpasses Bitcoin in dominance, we all know for a fact everyone's bidding, taking mad risks, doing crazy fundraising. So, like, what this tells me is you need to be holding more Bitcoin than anything else in your portfolio, especially when it comes to when you need to de-risk from the market. And yes, it got screwed having some USD and then obviously holding ETH, but it could be much worse, honestly. Like, I think eventually he will make these gains back, because I think we will probably touch 8K ETH soon. Maybe not now, but in the next, say, 2 quarters. But if he managed to hold, I think he'll be good. So I think he should just keep holding. What's done is done anyway. There's no point in now chasing the next thing, trying to now circle back to Bitcoin. It's too late. Just stick to ETH, and once you're up, once you realize your losses, or once you whatever 2x, 3x, make sure you take profit. Harris.
Yeah, I mean, the funniest thing I'm thinking about this confession is that he blames crypto Twitter. Now, I think crypto Twitter is guilty of a lot of things, but this one you're going to have to take on the head. When Altseason comes, you will know about it. And just because Altseason is here doesn't mean that everything is also going to fly. So, yeah, I mean, you've got some way to go back to breaking even. But I think if you stick it out for the long term, if you think 5-10 years in that time horizon, you'll be fine. So you could be doing a lot worse. Obviously, it is your life savings of over 100,000 euros, 140,000 to be exact. But yeah, I don't think you need to take unnecessary risks to actually get it all back. But yeah, I'm sure you'll be fine. But welcome back to the Crypto Flip podcast. I am your host, Harris King, and I am joined once again with my co-hosts, Ricardo and Deji. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. And if you're listening on audio platforms, don't forget to leave a review. And yeah, we are back again with something different today. So we're going to be doing a market update. So we've been seeing a lot of strength in the market, but recently we've been seeing a bit of a pullback across the entire crypto market, with Bitcoin sort of retracing a little bit, as well as a lot of the major alts that have been showing signs of strength. But what does that mean moving forward? What types of positions should you be taking, and what types of things should you be investing in? That's what we'll be exploring today. So what do you, man, make of that?
Let's start with where the market is right now. So yeah, like Harry said, the market, hit a mad high, especially Bitcoin. What the entire crypto market hit a mad high. It was over 4 trillion, which is a new all-time high. And that new all-time high was paired with Bitcoin hitting 123, but coming back down. When Bitcoin came back down, alt started to move. We saw Ripple at $3.6, breaking an all-time high. I think there's debate whether the Ripple all-time high is 3.58 or whether it's 3.85. Depending on which chart you look at, you might see different results, which is unlike crypto. But let's say that XRP made a new all-time high. ETH went from 2,000, I think it was 1,800, 1,600, all the way up to 3,700 or 800. Right now it's sitting about 3,600, which is still very, very good. We saw BNB print a new all-time high. We're still seeing hyperliquid sitting around all-time highs. I think the pullback that we're currently dealing with, I was aware of was coming. Basically just based on the fact that I'm just about I'm on the charts constantly. I'm like, I can see a pullback, probably about 10%. And even knowing this, I still fully allocated about 3 days ago. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna see 10% down in the short term, and I'm just looking at it now, and yeah, we're about 8% down. But what I don't want, is to think in my head, I'm going to time this market. I'm going to wait until, let's say, ETH drops back down to 3,200. Then I'm going to allocate instead of buying at 3,500, 600. Because the maddest thing about crypto is all it takes here is one sleep. Like one sleep, you go bed, you're like, all right, yeah, it's still about 3,000. It's still about 3,400. Like, yeah, I'm just going to wait until it hits 3,200 before I jump in. And then you wake up the next morning, 4.5 grand. And bro, that's not even an exaggeration, because ETH came up so quick. It's like, literally, it was 2 sleeps. And 1 sleep, 2,000. 2 sleeps, 3,000. 3 sleeps, 3,500. Come on. I'm just like, yeah, I'm not even about to try and time the market. In my head, like, this is it. Like, the market is in an upward regime. Bare things are moving, bare positive news online, the Genius Act getting passed, X, Y, and Z happening. Like, it would just have to take a black swan event for me to completely lose faith in where the market's going right now. And because I'm not using leverage, I'm just like, 10% down is 10% down. It's not like 100% wipeout at a 10x leverage. So yeah, so that's me. I'm like, I could see a 10% reversal. Correction, sorry. But I just feel like I'm going to fully allocate anyway, because I don't want to miss the massive leg up. And now I'm just in it for the leg up.
My guy said I'm in it for the leg up. Don't care if I'm 10% down. Of course you don't care, man. When you think long term, I think 10% is nothing, because I mean, it could easily go 4x over a long period of time. But yeah, I mean, the market has been interesting, as you might have eloquently stated. I think we've had this rally. The moment we consolidated over 100 grand and we were chopping around 104, that would have been a sweet trade to enter. I think that's when, if you're spot buyers, if you're pep traders like myself, that would have been a good place to start building positions to. Obviously, right now I'm looking at Bitcoin prices, $118,703. I wouldn't start building leverage here. I think what we could probably do is, I think this rally, we won't know if it's done or not until we see the next retest of that sweep high, because we closed below. We haven't really closed below on a weekly below that 118 area. I think that 118 area, if we close below that, then we're looking market structure, and that's not good. But I think what you probably see is bulls will step in latest tomorrow, and then they'll defend this area and they will push back up on Bitcoin, ETH, XRP, and then I think alts will continue to fly. But the next 3 days will continue to tell the story. I think what we're seeing so far is like this rally has been, again, I think there are obviously indicators saying, retail's back, there's increased interest on Google Trends, and there's liquidity charts that you can kind of see that retail's starting to come in. But I think majority of this rally was driven by institutional investors just, using BTC as a hedge against that de-dollarization, and then more and more companies continue to do that, even with Shui, with ETH. So that's why I feel like this pump is sustained, especially if you have a healthy pullback of 10% or more. I think that is within the plan to obviously try and buy the dip. So I'm looking for entries to try and scoop some trades in, spot, perps, wherever. I think this is the bid where I feel like it's an easy bid. You don't have to force it because this is the good place to buy, in my opinion. So that's what I'd say. Harris.
Yeah, I think that what you touched on is very, very important, that it is mainly driven by institutional investors. And that's one of the reasons why I'm still bullish for the rest of this bull, because retail hasn't come back into the market yet. We haven't, got your grandmas calling you up and be like, oh yeah, how do I buy Bitcoin on Coinbase and whatever. Obviously, we've had some stuff earlier in the market, but I still think they're going to come back in towards the very, very end of the market when we get that sort of parabolic blow off top event. And I don't think we've had that just yet. That's assuming that obviously we follow previous cycles, but I still think we'll still see that side of the market. So what do you do now? I saw a question in our community, I think yesterday, that was basically asking, what to buy, what altcoins should you buy? Should you buy altcoins? These are important questions. And I sort of responded, and I'll sort of give a highlight in terms of what my response was in my channel and within the group. So obviously the important thing to know is that after ETH pumps, traditionally, altcoins tend to follow, because the money from ETH flows back into alts, and the typical way it is ETH, large cap alts, and then you have small cap alts, and obviously you've got memes now as well as part of that equation. Obviously, yes, you've had a lot of the Dino stuff doing well, but when it comes to what you should be looking at, so you should definitely be looking at newer coins. Now, the question is, should you be buying alts now? I think that if you're acting on a trade and things have pulled back, then it could be a good opportunity to get in. Obviously, you don't want to catch a falling knife. So when you see some sideways action, I think it's probably a bit more of a better time to perhaps jump in, or a reversal, because you don't want to be on the end of that. So yeah, it's definitely an interesting opportunity to jump in if you haven't already got your exposure. If you got your exposure, you don't need to panic. But as I said in that post as well, don't be married to your bags. If you see, because this is just a game of probabilities, if you see that things, because this very well could be the end of the market, I highly doubt it, but if it is, don't be afraid to cut your losses.
I highly doubt it. I think we're 60% through the bull market progression, honestly. And the reason why I'm saying that again is, if you're asking me, if I'm forced to answer, the liquidity, the external liquidity from institutional buying is insane. Like, it's so insane that if Tesla dumped their 150 million bag of Bitcoin, the market would never react. Like, the market won't be like, oh, I'm panic selling, because another company would just scoop up the bird that purchase, and another company. And these aren't just normal companies. These are companies raising debt or using their own cash to build position in Bitcoin, because they're afraid of that, the dollarization of that, and the value of dollar going down, because Trump hasn't really fixed that. Him doing all the tariff stuff hasn't really helped with the value of dollar. So it's just, I don't see it stopping. And that's like, usually when you feel like, I know the bull market is over when you start having a harsher correction in Bitcoin, like consistent 30% pullback, then for about 40% pullback. That's when the market's close to being done, because catapult or cascade of those two kind of pullbacks is basically it's bear market essentially. So I don't think we're near the end of the market yet, but we are further along for the beginning than the end.
Yeah, I don't think we're at the end of the market necessarily, but I'm just saying that you have to take every possibility into account. For example, when we hit 68 in the last cycle, people thought, oh yeah, we can reach 100K before things, can change.
100%. 100%. Like, yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah. So what are you guys? Are you guys going to be buying anything, or what's your strategy now?
I'll go first. Or Rick, you want to go first?
Hey, listen, I'm raising debt.
Oh, okay.
I'm raising debt, bro. Over the next 6 to 8 months, this is it. It's make or break. If it works, brilliant. If it doesn't, I'll just keep running the business. That's just it, bro. Like, yeah.
Listen. That is bullish signal right there, fam. Rick doesn't like debt, but if he's raising debt, that means he's all in, fam. When you're in the casino, you got the golden hand, and you go all in. You know it's time. But raising debt, that's a strategy if you know how to manage your risk. But I think honestly, man, like the alts are literally far from their all-time high. They're not even near the recent all-time high or this year all-time high. That the only thing that's closer to is probably SOL and ETH and XRP. Other than those, and obviously BNB and Bitcoin. Those five beasts. If you remove them from the whole chart, like so many altcoins are still like heavily discounted. Looking at the top meme coins, maybe not Fartcoin. Fartcoin has been obviously showing tremendous strength throughout the entire cycle. But I think, if you're looking to get into things, this is such a good place to start doing some spot accumulation. Like, because I know people have given up on ETH. I know people have given up on Altseason, but it is going to happen. Whether it's going to be in tangible meme coins or not, I think altcoins, we will get out altcoin season, but for altcoin season to happen, we need ETH showing strength above 5K. I think that's when real altcoin season starts. And I don't think we get that until we get more QE than QT, because I see the Fed offloaded their balance sheet, but not a fast enough pace for me to be like, we're definitely printing. So, spot, and just try and be ready, because this is it. Because I think we are almost out of corrections and pullbacks for you to obviously start thinking about taking position. I think altcoins are there. In 2-3 months when altcoins are flying, or in Q4 when they're flying, you shouldn't be like, oh man, I was waiting for... What today's date is July. Come on. No financial advice.
Honestly. Well, with that being said, we will see you guys in the next one. Peace.